There's a real dangerous disease that's incurable by medicine. As a matter of fact, medicine only makes it worse. And the more you feed it, the worse it gets. So the only way to cure it is to look inside yourself and figure out what it is. We all share this disease. I'm talking about the disease of addiction. We all have different vices like drugs, alcohol, women, money, whatever our addiction. Whatever we're subject to, we're a slave to that addiction. So until we can free our minds from that addiction and realize that we have a problem, then we're always going to be subject to that. Just by a show of hands, does anyone have an addiction to a certain thing? It could be addiction to love, addiction to women. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have an addiction, you too? No? Okay. You have an addiction? So everyone has an addiction. So that's a problem that we have, an addiction. So we need to cure that problem by looking inside ourselves and figuring out what it is. We got to extract the problem from our mind and get rid of it, else we'll always be subject to that. And when you don't think you have an addiction that's very ignorant of you, I'm not throwing any shots at anyone saying it's ignorant. Ignorant just means not knowing. That's what ignorant means. It's just giving a bad connotation. So ignorance is not blissful. That's not a good thing to be ignorant because you don't know what your problem is or what you're experiencing. And you know, we go through a lot of problems in life because of our addiction, and we get sad, and what we do is we turn to feed it more instead of taking care of a problem, because we shouldn't rely on anything. We shouldn't rely on a person. We shouldn't rely on a mental state. We should just all be free in our minds and stop living in mind prison. Whatever that addiction is, feel bad about yourself, you don't think you're adequate, self-consciousness, any problems you have, that's what it is. And like if you go to an NA meeting or like an AA meeting, they talk about being an addict, and they talk about how they're still an addict. Even if some of them have been cleaner longer than we've been alive, they say, "Hi, my name's Josh, I'm an addict." "Hi, Josh." And you know, they're addicts. And what was I saying? I forgot. What was the last thing I said?
AA. Hi, John.
Oh yeah. They still call themselves addicts because they realize that they have a problem, and that problem will never be cured. So unless you can face your problem, I challenge you guys to face your problems today, whatever that is. If it's money, if it's women, self-consciousness, if it's someone that you love so much that you're putting that person you love before a person you should put first, like maybe God or yourself, or if you care about someone else more than you care about your own feelings, or you do things, you know, to try to escape your problems or to try to leave your mind behind. Get rid of it and work for a brighter future. And know that once you do that, everything will be good. We all experience problems, and we'll get through them, no matter what it is. And we're all young, and we're all going to go through a hell of a lot more than what we've been through. And we just got to stay faced and be concrete and get through them and not be subjects to our disease, because that disease is uncurable until we decide to fix it. And if you don't believe you have it, then you're sick and you need help. And the only person that can help you is yourself.
Hello everybody, my name is Leon Milner, and I will be talking to you about me trying to be an author and trying to make me a book so I can have it be sold, and so everybody can learn about what I wanted, what I'm passionate about, and which is writing. Try to bear with me. Okay. I want everybody to think about a problem that they went through in their life, and think about it for like a couple of minutes and just see that you're the only person that know about that problem. But if I write a book about situations that many people go through, like a lot of people write books that are creative and funny to a different type of crowd, like young children. People write books for young children because they want them to, you know, learn different things. Like some people write books about animals, so they keep it on that subject. But I want my books to be about real life situations that people go through every day, such as sex, drugs, money, people lying to you. Inside of my book, I might write about myself too, as in this problems I used to go through in my life, which is school issues, friends issues. Like I want to write about all that kind of stuff in my book. And I want my books to be filled with drama and action, So when people read my books, they'll be like, oh, well, Leona, she's a great writer, and she keeps it real with her audience that want to read her book because she lets all her emotions pour out into the book so people can buy them. And some of the books I'm talking about is A Do Right Man and The Other Woman. You can pass those around if you like. That's the kind of books I'm talking about. And these are like books that are kind of, they kind of put a whole lot of information out there that you wouldn't really see a younger child to read. So those are the kind of books that I'm talking about. And The Other Woman talks about a man and a woman that's married, and they have trouble in their marriage because they both work a lot, and a lot of they don't really interact with one another. So whenever they want to have sex or whatever, they come home at different times. So they never have sexual intercourse with each other, and they start losing like their love for one another. And the lady of the book, she gets a phone call when she's at work, and it tells her, and the man picks up the phone and tells her that her husband been messing around with his wife, and she doesn't believe him. And when the man shows her emails and pictures and texts of their conversation, then she starts to believe him. She goes home, confronts her husband, and finds out all of it is true. So therefore, she turns around and starts messing with the guy that called her about the whole situation. So now it's like husbands and wives cheating on each other. That's the kind of stuff I want to talk about in my book, so people can be interested in it. And after that, I guess at the end, I'm gonna just wrap it up for you guys. At the end, the husband that was messing around with the wife that she found out about, the man that she started messing with, the man that she got the phone call from, that's who she started talking to. And after that, the man that called her about the information or whatever, she found out that he killed her husband. So then she leaves him at the end. And in Do Right Man, it just basically talks about a man trying to find out what he want to do with his life and career, and he tries to find a girl to share his life with, basically. And my books, I want my books to be only read for an older crowd. So 17 and under is not permitted to read my books. You have to be mature about the situation, because my books will have a lot of different kind of stories inside of them. Like, I might put myself in the book as well, because I've been cheated on. Probably some of you guys been cheated on, or you cheated on somebody. I might put that in my book. Like, I want to add a whole lot of things in my book, but you just have to be mature in how you handle the situation. And when you talk about the book or you read the book, you have to learn, like, oh, well, these are situations that people go through every day. I just don't want to write a book about things that's PG. I'm gonna get a little X-rated with it. You just have to be mature about it, you know. And yeah, I want to have pictures in my book as well, color pictures, so you guys can read and look like, oh, okay, like this was going down, like. And it's important for me to be a writer, because I always wanted to be a writer. I want to major in journalism, and that's what I plan on doing, but still I'm undeclared at the moment. But I'm very passionate about writing, and I like to write a lot of like little poems and little stories, like whenever I'm in the door, when I'm finished doing my homework and stuff. In my spare time, I like to write, and that would be nice whenever I publish a book, you guys go out and buy it, because it would really mean a lot to me. And Maya Angelou also inspired me into writing books as well. At first, when I seen Maya Angelou, I thought to myself, like, well, she's a good writer, and it doesn't seem like she went through that much in her life. But when I started reading about what she went through in her life, such as she got raped when she was a child, and so many other things. Like, I want to talk about that kind of stuff inside the books. Like, it doesn't mean that I went through it. It's just I want to put a whole lot of things in my book, but it's just I want a mature audience to be able to read and handle what I'm writing in my books. And I want to be a role model to younger children, especially to my little cousins back home. I would like to be a role model to them, because they really look up to me, and I want them to see that if I can make it, they can as well. And if whoever reads my books, if they're inspired and they know that something happened to them inside like the story that I'm